तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ओम तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and today we have to study the conversations of Saturday, December 10th, 1881. English page 1015. Chapter reading continues to with Keshava Dakshineshwar. Bengali page 1107, Chaturtha Parichet. And the context we know that when they met in Manomohan's house, Keshav suggested to Rajendra Mitra, who was the maternal uncle of both Manomohan and Ramchandra, that why not you invite Sri Ramakrishna to your house and have a celebration, we will all come. This is the background. Now, at Keshav's request, Rajendra Mitra arranged a religious festival at his home in Calcutta and invited Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees, including the members of the Brahma Samaj, because it was suggested by Keshav. So Keshav and other Brahmas also were invited. 2 days before, Aghor Nath, a prominent member of the Brahma Samaj, had suddenly passed away in Lucknow. 2 days before means before that invitation? No. That was Saturday, December 3, when this Keshav had suggested in Manomohan's house. And now it is December 10th. So in between, this had happened. 2 days before, Aghor Nath, a prominent member of the Brahma Samaj, had suddenly passed away in Lucknow. Keshav and the other Brahmo devotees were in mourning. Indian tradition. They do not socially mix with people for certain days. And Rajendra thought they would not possibly join in the festival at his house. This worried him. But Ram, the master's devotee, said to him, "Why are you so sad? If Keshav can't come, let him stay away. Our master will be here. He is always in communion with God. He enables one to see God. And his presence will make the festival a success." But there is a big mistake by Ram. Ram has become too much exclusive and one-sided about Sri Ramakrishna, which is not Sri Ramakrishna's own attitude. Keshav had suggested, so Keshav should be there. So Sri Ramakrishna will be there, all right. But how to carry on that without Keshav? And Keshav wanted that. And so he had invited Brahman devotees along with Keshav. So that is a big mistake by Ram. But Master Maharaj has mentioned it because that was Ram's nature. Rajendra, accompanied by Ram, but Rajan did not agree. Rajan asked Ram to come with him to Keshav's house. Rajendra, accompanied by Ram and a few others, paid Keshav a visit to express their condolence for the death of Agornath. Keshav said to Rajendra, why? I haven't said I shall not join in the festival at your house. Sri Ramakrishna will be there. So how can I stay away? That was Keshav's attitude. I am in mourning. It is true, but I shall come. So I shall observe certain rules about people in the morning, but I'll surely come there. In the Bengali, it is mentioned, I will eat sitting away. So you should not socially mix with people. That I will observe. Otherwise, I will come. On the wall in Keshav's room, they had gone to Keshav's house there. In Keshav's room, hung a picture of Sri Ramakrishna absorbed in Samadhi. Actually, it was Keshav who took Sri Ramakrishna to a studio and got the photograph made. And the photograph in Keshav's house during a kirtan, Sri Ramakrishna has entered Samadhi, Hridaya is supporting him, that is also in Keshav's house. The third picture which we know was taken by Bhavanath at Dakshineshwar near Radhakanta temple, which we worship every day. Only 3 photos of Sri Ramakrishna are available. Fourth one, which has become very popular, is a painting by the French artist Frank Dora. He had a vision of Sri Ramakrishna and he had painted. So these are the only 4. All others will be some combination, some change of background, but only these 4 are available. 3 actual photos, 1 painting, original. And out of which 2, the cause itself is Keshav. Rajendra to Keshav. Many people say that he, pointing to the picture, is an incarnation of Chaitanya. Many people say, Keshav, looking at the picture, one doesn't see such samadhi. So he's telling whether incarnation or not, but such spiritual manifestations are not seen anywhere else. One doesn't see such samadhi. Only men like Christ, Muhammad, and Chaitanya experienced it. So Sri Ramakrishna has experienced it. So maybe Chaitanya's incarnation or whatever. So only Muhammad name he has taken, but 3 people up till now has entered such samadhi, which we see in Sri Ramakrishna. About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna arrived at Manu Mohan's house. He rested there a while and had some refreshments. Surendra took the master in a carriage to the studio of the Bengal photographer. Surendra had taken. The art of photography was explained to him and he was shown how glass covered with silver nitrate takes the image. As the master was being photographed, he went into samadhi. So it seems there is my mistake. Keshav's house, Sri Ramakrishna had entered samadhi. And this studio photo was by Surendra's effort, not by Keshav's. A little later, Sri Ramakrishna arrived at Rajendra Mitra's house. Keshav had not yet come, and Mahendra Goswami was reading from the Bhagavata. So, as arranged, the festival had started. The master conversed with the devotees. Master, why shouldn't one be able to lead a spiritual life in the world? Constant theme. But it is extremely difficult, sure. He won't say it is very easy. He can, but difficult. While coming here, I passed over the bridge at Bagh Bazar. How many chains it is tied with? Nothing will happen if one chain is broken, for there are so many others to keep it in place. Just so there are many ties on a worldly man. There is no way for him to get rid of them except through the grace of God. A simile found immediately. One need not be afraid of the world after one has had the vision of God. Both Vidya and Avidya exist in his Maya. We already understood this. But one becomes indifferent to them after realizing God. One understands it rightly after attaining the state of a Paramahansa in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Only a swan, Paramahansa, the great swan. Only a swan can discard the water and drink the milk from a mixture of milk and water. A robin cannot do so. So that is the Paramahansa. Paramahansa can separate God from the world. Others not very simple. A devotee. Then what is the way for a householder? You say it can be done and you say it is difficult and you say there are so many chains, only a Paramahansa can understand. Then what is the way for a householder? Master, faith in the Guru's words. Reply in one sentence. Faith in the Guru's words. You should depend on his instruction. What the Guru says, do your duties in the world, holding fast to his words, like a person whirling round and holding fast to a pillar. Yesterday we had seen this. One must not look on one's Guru as a mere human being. It is Satchidananda himself who appears as the Guru. God the Supreme, his power to grace people appears through a human being called the Guru. When the disciple has the vision of the Ishta, through the Guru's grace, he finds the Guru merging in him. So Guru is also like a Sakhi, a friend. He shows the Ishta. And then he goes away. Where does he go away? He enters the Ishtam. So actually, it is the Ishtam which has taken the form of the Guru, and finally Guru merges in the Ishtam. What can one not achieve through simple faith? Simple faith, non-questioning faith. Once there was an Annaprashana ceremony in a Guru's house. Annaprashana means children's first taking food. Annaprashana. That in Hindu system it has a big ceremonial for it, religious ceremonial. God is offered and then that is fed to the child. Once there was an Annaprashana ceremony in the Guru's house. His disciples volunteered according to their powers to supply the different articles of food. He had one disciple, a very poor, he had one disciple, a very poor widow who owned a cow. She milked it and brought the Guru a jar of milk. So there are various variations of the story. It was a boy who had brought, but in this story, the woman herself had brought. He had thought she would take charge of all. He had thought she would take the charge of all the milk and curd for the festival. Angry at her poor offering, he threw the milk away and said to her, "Go and drown yourself." The widow accepted this as his command and went to the river to drown herself. But God was pleased with her guileless faith and appearing, that is simple faith means guileless faith, and appearing before her said, "Take this pot of curd. You will never be able to empty it. The more curd you pour out, the more will come from the pot. This will satisfy your teacher." The Guru was speechless with amazement when the pot was given to him. After hearing from the widow the story of the pot, he went to the river, saying to her, "I shall drown myself if you cannot show God to me." God appeared then and there. What wonderful force of faith. But the Guru could not see him. Addressing God, the widow said, "If my teacher gives up his body because thou dost not reveal thyself to him, then I too shall die. So God appeared to the Guru, but only once. Wonderful story about the woman's faith. And for her faith, he appeared before the Guru. But because of Guru's arrogance, he showed him only once. So all this together is a really wonderful story showing faith. Now you see, because of faith in her Guru, the disciple herself had the vision of God and also showed him to her teacher. Therefore I say, even though my Guru frequents a grog shop, still to me he is the embodiment of eternal bliss. So that is how one should revere the Guru, overlooking his faults. There is a Bengali saying, Yadyapi Amar Guru Shundi Bade Jai, Tadapi Tini Nityananda Rai. All want to be the Guru, but very few indeed want to be the disciple. That is another point of Guru-Shishya relationship. But you know that rainwater doesn't collect on a high ground. It collects in low land in a hollow. So ego cannot have grace of God. Hollow means humbleness, lowliness, then God grace appears there, descends. One should have faith in the holy name given by the Guru, mainly, and with it practice spiritual discipline. It is said that the pearl oyster makes itself ready for the rain that falls when the star Swati is in the ascendant. He says it is said. Taking a drop of that rain, it dives into the fathomless depths of the ocean and remains there until the pearl is found. That is what people believe, and that is what Thakur said. It is an example, but Thakur said it is said that. At the site of the many Brahmo devotees assembled there, so that all come. The master said, is the meeting of the Brahmos a real devotional gathering or a mere show? Directly. It is very good that the Brahmo Samaj holds regular devotions, but one must dive deep. Mere ceremonial worship or lectures are of no avail. Ceremonial worship or lectures of no avail. One should pray to God that one's attachment to worldly enjoyment may disappear, that one may have pure love for his lotus feet. This prayer will solve the problem. The elephant has outer tusks and inner grinders as well, by which he eats, chews and eats. The tusks are mere ornaments, but the elephant chews its food with the grinders. The inner enjoyment of woman and gold injures the growth of one's devotion. So you may show anything outside, but inside that enjoyment is like the inner trust. Then that injures the growth of one's devotion. What will you achieve through mere public lectures? The vulture undoubtedly soars high, but its eyes are fixed on the charnel pit. The rocket undoubtedly shoots up into the sky, but the next moment it falls to the ground. That is from the uh, fireworks. That is Diwali or like occasion, fireworks, that rocket. He who has renounced his attachment to worldly enjoyments will remember nothing but God in the form of death, in the hour of death. He has renounced the attachment to worldly enjoyments. So all the time he is thinking of God. And so he will remember him at the hour of death. Otherwise, he will think only of worldly things, wife, children, house, wealth, name, and fame. Through practice, a bird can be trained to repeat Radha Krishna, but when a cat catches, it only squawks because that has not gone inside the body. So mechanical observance is of no use. Therefore, one should constantly practice the singing of God's name and glories, and meditation and contemplation as well. So let God enter deep into the consciousness of man through all these means. And further, one should always pray that one's attachment to the world may disappear and one's love for God's lotus feet may grow. So this prayer is a great force on both sides. Householders devoted to God live in the world like a maidservant who performs her duties for her master but always keeps her mind fixed on her own native village. That is to say, they do their duties in the world, keeping their minds on God. Anyone leading a worldly life is sure to come to in contact with its dirt. But a householder who is a true devotee of God lives like the mud fish, which, though remaining in the mud, is not stained by it. So he should spend his life in the world unattached. So he will have to live in many contaminating things, but he will not be contaminated. Brahman and Shakti are identical. Nirgun and Sagun Brahma are identical. Brahman itself, Nirakar, but it appears at the world through Shakti. One acquires love and devotion quickly by calling on God as mother. So Shakti is feminine, so she is the mother, and mother relation also is very near. So if one calls on God as mother, then quickly he progresses spiritual life because mother is same as God. And yet she is the mother. That is the beauty. Saying this, the master sang, Hi. শ্যামাপদ আকাশেতে মাছ ঘুড়ি খান উড়িতেছিল কলুষের কুয়াতাস খেয়ে গোপটা খেয়ে পড়ে গেল. Two lines only are given. High in the heaven of the mother's feet, my mind was soaring like a kite. When came a blast of sin's rough wind that drove it swiftly toward the earth. Maya disturbed its even flight by bearing down upon one side, and I could make it rise no more. Entangled in the twisting string of love for children and for wife, alas, my kite was rent in twain. The song continues. It lost its crest of wisdom soon and downward plunged as I let it go. How could it hope to fly again when all its top was torn away? Though fastened with devotion's cord, it came to grief in playing here. Its 6 opponents worsted it. Kamakrodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara are called these 6 enemies. Now, Naresh Chandra, the poet, now Naresh Chandra rules this game of smiles and tears and thinks it better never to have played at all. Oh, beautiful sentiment. He sang again, Yashoda nachato goma bole Nilamani, se vesh lukali kothai, karalavadani. So from Kali, he has shifted to Krishna, showing simultaneously the identity between Kali and Krishna. That is the spirit of harmony which he has come to show to the world. He sang again, "O mother, for Yashoda thou wouldst dance when she called thee her precious blue jewel. Where hast thou hidden that lovely form, O terrible Shama? Dance that way once for me, O mother. Throw down that sword and take the flute. Cast, that means come to me in a milder form. Cast off thy garland of heads and wear thy wild flower garland of love and tenderness." As Sri Ramakrishna sang, he left his seat and began to dance. Ecstasy. The devotees too stood up. Every now and then the master went into samadhi and the devotees gazed at him intently. Dr. Dukodi touched the master's eyeballs with his finger to test the genuineness of his samadhi. This disgusted the devotees. When the music and dancing were over, the devotees, so test is final, but devotees got disturbed. When the music and dancing were over, the devotees took their seats. Just then Keshav arrived with some of his Brahmo disciples. So at that point, Keshav came. Rajendra told him about their great joy in the master's kirtan and requested Trailokya to sing again. Trailokya is the minstrel in Keshav's party. Keshav replied, "Since Sri Ramakrishna has taken his seat, the kirtan will sound flat. But he is not standing and dancing now, so kirtan will sound flat." Trailokya and the Brahmo devotees sang, "मन एक बार हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, हरि 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 बोले भव सिंधु पारे चौल, जल हरि स्थल हरि, चंद्र हरि सूर्य हरि, अनले 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 अनिले हरि, हरिमय ए भूमंडल." Chant to mind the name of Hari, sing aloud the name of Hari, praise Lord Hari's name, and praising Hari's name of mind, cross the ocean of this world. Hari dwells in earth, in water, Hari dwells in fire and air, all pervadingness of Hari. In sun and moon, he dwells, Hari's ever-living presence fills the boundless universe. While preparations were being made to give the guests something to eat, Sri Ramakrishna talked with Keshav. Master with a smile. "Today I enjoyed very much the machine by which a man's picture is taken. He was taken by Surendra to the studio, that he was telling Keshav. One thing I noticed was that the impression doesn't stay on a bare piece of glass, but it remains when the glass is stained with a black solution. Nowadays, this is not there in camera or digital. It does not require a solution. In the same way, mere hearing of spiritual talk doesn't leave any impression. People forget it soon afterwards, but they can retain spiritual instruction if they are stayed inside with earnestness and devotion. So always there has to be a fitness, receptivity. The master was conducted to the second floor of the house and was asked to sit on a beautiful carpet. The ladies waited on him while he ate his meal. Keshav and the other devotees were also sumptuously fed. That much. Now we come to Sunday, January 1, 1882. Sri Ramakrishna arrived with his devotees at the house of Jnan Chaudhary in Calcutta to join the annual festival of the Shimla Brahmo Samaj. Keshav, Ram, Manomohan, Balaram, Kedar, Narendra, Rakhal and other devotees were present. So Narendra has come by now. January 1, 1882. Narendra came perhaps in October or November 1881. Narendra had met the master only a few days before at the temple garden in Dakshinesh. He used to participate now and then in the worship of the Shimla Brahma Samaj near his house and sing for the congregation. The worship was arranged according to the usual custom of the Samaj. First the scripture was read, then Narendra sang. It was thus. The devotees made merry. The master looked at the householder devotees seated around him and said with a smile, why shouldn't it be possible for a householder to give his mind to God? Constant theme. But the truth is that he no longer has his mind with him. Mind has been mortgaged. If he had it, then he could certainly offer it to God. But alas, the mind has been mortgaged to woman and gold. So it is necessary for him constantly to live in the company of holy men. When he gets back his own mind, then he can devote it to spiritual practice. But that can happen only if he lives constantly in the company of holy men. But first it is necessary to live constantly with the Guru, wait on him and enjoy the company, or he should live with holy men. Guru or holy man. Either he should think of God in solitude day and night, or he should live with holy men. Again, let me go back. Yes. When he gets back his own mind, then he can devote it to spiritual practice. But first it is necessary to live constantly with the Guru, wait on him, and enjoy the company of spiritual people. Either he should think of God in solitude day and night, or he should live with holy men. The mind left to itself gradually dries up. Take a jar of water, for instance. If the jar is set aside, the water dries up little by little. But that will not happen if the jar is kept immersed in the Ganges. So that is the holy company. The iron becomes red in the furnace of a smithy. Take it out and it becomes black as before. Therefore, the iron must be heated in the furnace every now and then. Do you know what ignorance means? Opposite of knowledge, huh? It is the feeling there is my house, there are my relatives, I am the doer, and the household affairs go on smoothly because I manage them. This I is the cause of ignorance. I is the representative of ignorance. But to feel I am the servant of God, his devotee, his son, that is a good attitude. Though that is also I, but I related to God because it becomes different. The I cannot be effaced altogether except in Nirvikal Samadhi. You may explain it away through reasoning that I is not real. But the next moment it reappears. Nobody knows from where. From the inner ignorance. It is like a goat that will still bleeds faintly and jerks in legs even after its head has been cut off for bali. The other movements in the body still continue. But the I that God retains in his devotee after he has seen him, that is a different I. Illumined I, God has kept it, is called the ripe I. It is like a sword turned into gold by touching the philosopher's stone. You cannot hurt anybody with it. Its value changes. It is kept in puja maybe. Thus the master talked, seated in the worship hall, and Keshav and the other devotees listened with rapt attention. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening. The bell rang 3 times for the worship. The master to Keshav and the others. What's this? I see you haven't yet begun your regular worship. 3 times the bell rang, reminding them. Keshav, what further worship do we need? We are having all this. Master, oh no, my dear sir, let the worship be performed according to your custom. Keshav, why? We are getting on very well. At the master's repeated request, Keshav began the worship. In the midst of it, Sri Ramakrishna suddenly stood up and went into samadhi. The Brahmo devotees sang, so worship is over. Same. Man ek baar hari bol, hari bol, hari bol. Hari 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 bole bhav sindhu pare chor. Jale hari stale hari, anale anile hari. Chandra hari, Surya hari. Hari my a bhumandal. Chant to mind the name of Hari. Sing aloud the name of Hari. Praise Lord Hari's name. And praising his name, O mind, cross the ocean of this world. The master still stood there, absorbed in ecstasy. Keshav laid him down very carefully from the temple to the courtyard. The music went on. The master danced to the music, the devotees dancing around him, a heavenly sight. Even to think of it will elevate our mind. After the refreshments, Sri Ramakrishna again talked with Keshav. Soon he began to sing. Keshav sang with the master. मजलो अमार मन भ्रमरा श्यामा पद नील कमले जतो विषय मधु तुच्छ हलो कामादि कुसुम सकले. Bengali it has given previously, so not here, but in English we get it. The black bee of my mind is drawn in sheer delight to the blue lotus flower of Mother Shama's feet. So feet is compared with a blue lotus, mind is compared with a bee, so it goes to that feet. The blue flower of the feet of Kali, Shiva's consort. Tasteless to the bee are the blossoms of desire. My mother's feet are black, and black too is the bee. Black is made one with black. This much of the mystery my mortal eyes behold, then hastily retreat. But Kamalakanta's hopes are answered in the end. He swims in the sea of bliss, unmoved by joy or pain. That is his dreams. Kamalakanta is the famous singer. Again they sang, শ্যামাপদ আকাশেতে মন ঘুড়ি খান উড়িতে ছিল কালু শেরকু বাতাস খেয়ে গোপ্তা খেয়ে পড়ে গেল. High in the heaven of the, just now I heard that song, so now only two lines are given. High in the heaven of the mother's feet, my mind was soaring like a kite, when came a blast of sin's rough wind that drove it swiftly toward the earth. Both Keshav and the master were in a state of divine fervor. The other devotees joined them and sang and danced till midnight. So everybody lost in ecstasy. The master rested a few minutes and then said to Keshav, why did you send me presents when your son was married? What shall I do with them? Take them back. He does not want any presents. Keshav smiled a little and the master continued, why do you write about me in your paper? You cannot make a man great by writing about him in books and magazines. If God makes a man great, even though he lives in a forest, but God himself made Keshav write that. When flowers bloom in the deep woods, the bees find them, but the flies do not. Only the receptive people will be attracted to the incarnation. What can man do? Don't look up to him, man. Man is but a worm. The tongue that praises you today will abuse you tomorrow. That is man's nature. I don't want name and fame. May I always remain the humblest of the humble and the lowliest of the lowly. That is his permanent attitude. That is why he is honored by people, not because he shows he is high. So we have come to the end of Appendix A. In English, there is an appendix B, which is in the form of a letter. In Bengali, you have to find out Ramakrishna and Bankim and all that has been included in the main body. Varanagar Math is all right, but after Varanagar Math in Bengali, please turn pages, page 1164. Bengali page 1164, Shri Ramakrishna Ashwini Kumar Pravruti Bhakta Sanghe. Shri Keshav Sen 1881, Devendra Thakur, Achalananda Shivnath Hriday Narendra Giri. Narendra? Yes, November 1881. This is also in the appendix because though it is during Master's time, he had not witnessed that. One great person, Ashwini Kumar Datta, had witnessed, and Master Maharaj had requested him to please write down your reminiscences of that day. And they are really thrilling, great, and he wrote them to the Master Mahashaya in a form of a letter. So that letter we shall see on Thursday. Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviridhitam Kalmashapam Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuigrunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.